Karen faked being an art critic. Students drew her poorly, and she quit in embarrassment. What happens when a self-proclaimed expert's lies unravel in front of those she's deceived? In the heart of a bustling city, Karen Whitaker strutted into the prestigious Riverstone Art Academy, her heels clicking with the confidence of someone who believed she owned the room. She called herself an art critic, a tastemaker whose reviews could make or break budding artists. Her sharp tongue and scathing critiques had already crushed the dreams of several students, leaving them questioning their talent. But something about Karen's polished persona felt off, like a painting with cracks beneath its glossy surface. Karen had a reputation for tearing down artwork with ruthless precision. At Riverstone's annual student exhibition, she stood before a vibrant mural created by Mia, a shy but fiercely talented senior. "This is amateurish," Karen declared, her voice dripping with disdain. The colors clash like a toddler's tantrum. The crowd of students and faculty gasped, but no one dared challenge her. Mia's face burned with shame as she retreated to the back of the gallery, her confidence shattered. Karen reveled in the power, her critiques growing harsher with each piece she reviewed. She dismissed a delicate watercolor as uninspired and a bold sculpture as a waste of space. Her words were venom, and the students were her prey. But whispers began to circulate. A junior named Leo, who had been quietly observing Karen, noticed inconsistencies in her critiques. She threw around terms like chiaroscuro and impasto incorrectly, and her knowledge of art history seemed suspiciously thin. Leo, a tech-savvy art enthusiast with a knack for research, decided to dig deeper. Late that night, he scoured the internet, cross-referencing Karen's supposed credentials. What he found or rather didn't find changed everything. Karen Whitaker had no published reviews, no affiliations with reputable art institutions, and no trace of the decades of experience she claimed. Her entire persona was a fabrication, built on lies to inflate her ego and wield influence. The next day, Leo shared his findings with Mia and a small group of students. They were furious but hesitant. Confronting Karen could backfire. She had connections, or so she claimed, and her wrath was legendary. Yet Mia, still stinging from Karen's public humiliation, refused to stay silent. "If she's a fraud, we need to expose her," she said, her voice trembling but resolute. The group devised a plan, one that would turn Karen's own tactics against her. They would let her critique their work one last time, but this time they'd be ready. The following week, Riverstone hosted a special showcase, inviting Karen to deliver her expert opinions. The gallery buzzed with anticipation, but the students had a secret. Among the displayed pieces were several caricatures of Karen herself, drawn by the students she'd belittled. Each portrait exaggerated her haughty demeanor, her pursed lips, her condescending sneer, her over-the-top designer glasses. The drawings were deliberately crude, a silent rebellion against her so-called expertise. Mia's piece, a satirical sketch of Karen as a pompous queen holding a scepter labeled ego, was the centerpiece. As Karen began her critique, the room fell silent. She approached Mia's caricature, her eyes narrowing. "What is this nonsense?" she snapped. "This isn't art, it's a mockery." The students exchanged glances, their courage building. Leo stepped forward, holding up his phone. "Actually, Ms. Whitaker," he said, his voice steady, "we've done some research. You're not an art critic. You've never published a single review, and your credentials don't exist." The crowd murmured, and Karen's face flushed crimson. She opened her mouth to retort, but Leo wasn't done. He projected a screenshot of her fake LinkedIn profile onto the gallery wall, revealing her lack of credentials for all to see. The room erupted in chaos. Faculty members whispered among themselves, and students began chanting, "Fraud! Fraud!" Karen's composure cracked. In a fit of rage, she grabbed a can of red spray paint from a nearby table and defaced Mia's caricature, scrawling lies across it. She didn't stop there. She tore down other students' works, smashing frames and ripping canvases, her fury a whirlwind of destruction. The gallery, once a haven for creativity, became a battlefield. Students recorded the meltdown on their phones, the footage capturing Karen's unraveling for the world to see. Then came the twist no one expected. An unassuming janitor, Mr. Torres, stepped forward from the back of the room. He was a quiet man who'd worked at Riverstone for years, often overlooked by students and faculty alike. But Mr. Torres was no ordinary janitor, was a former artist who'd studied at the academy decades ago, before life's hardships forced him to set aside his dreams. "I've seen real critics," he said, his voice calm but firm. "They build, they inspire, they teach. You, Karen, destroy for sport." He held up a sketchbook, revealing his own detailed drawings, far superior to anything Karen could critique. The students were stunned, and Karen's face twisted in humiliation. Mr. Torres's quiet authority exposed her not just as a fraud, but as a bully who'd underestimated the community she targeted. Karen's destruction of the gallery became her undoing. The viral videos of her rampage spread across social media, with hashtags like Karen the Fraud trending within hours. Art blogs and local news outlets picked up the story, and Karen's name became synonymous with deceit. The students, led by Mia and Leo, filed a formal complaint with the academy, which banned Karen from future events. Her so-called career as a critic was over. She fled the city, unable to face the public shame. The caricatures she tried to destroy were restored and displayed in a new exhibit titled Truth in Art, which drew crowds eager to support the students' resilience. In the aftermath, Mia found her confidence again. She and her classmates rebuilt the gallery, their artwork stronger for the struggle. Mr. Torres, inspired by the students' courage, began teaching informal art classes, sharing his wisdom with a new generation. The academy became a symbol of authenticity, a place where talent thrived without fear of imposters like Karen. What do you think? Can a single lie unravel a person's entire world? Or is it the courage to expose it that matters most? Share your thoughts on truth, deception, and the power of standing up.